All right, so I think I just went through an identity crisis, and there was a book that I just read while we were on vacation that just got me out of it. And I didn't even realize I was having an identity crisis until I literally just read this book. So the book's name is Atomic Habits by James Clear. What you will learn in this book is mostly about habits and stuff, but he also talks a lot about his identity crisis that he ended up having. So essentially he was big into baseball and he wanted to become a professional baseball player. He had an accident, okay, he didn't pee his pants or anything, he just actually had a serious thing that happened to him, which is probably not good to joke about it, but anyways, yes, he had something bad happen to him that pretty much stunted his progression in baseball, and he pretty much was having an identity crisis because as time progressed, he had to do something else instead of baseball. And it was difficult for him to make that transition from going from baseball to something new, okay? So he ended up doing something new and he ended up writing this book. And it was Atomic Habits. And he ended up doing a lot of blogs or whatever. It was like he would create a subscriber list and stuff for people to subscribe. And essentially that was how he ended up making it. He ended up making a phenomenal book that became a bestseller and stuff. And he was just really, really good at writing. And that was what his passion was. But never did he expect that to be his passion when he was just earlier all about baseball. I think that is the reason why it really solved the identity crisis that I was having. Now, comparing this story to pretty much my life and what's going on is that I quit real estate, okay? And this is the reason why I think I was having an identity crisis. Essentially, I would see a guy out in a business suit, right? Just minding his own business, doing his own thing, and I would resent him. I would like get all like anxious or stressed out or just like even sometimes angry that like I was seeing other people that were just minding their own business, doing their own day thing, and they just happened to be a business person. They had a suit on, right? And this reminded me of being a real estate agent, okay? Now, the thing is instead of learning and being grateful and happy that I tried a different experience, I was resentful and I was really self-loathing, if that's the word for it. And I think that I was letting it consume me a little bit too much. Rather than just taking my experience as something that I can learn from, I was rather regretting my decisions and wishing that I never would have done real estate in the first place. But really, it was a great way for me to learn what I do and don't want to do. And it was just really nice that I got it out of the way because, hey, it could have worked out for me and I could have really enjoyed it, but I didn't, and I really enjoyed being a YouTuber. So if you think that maybe you yourself might be going through an identity crisis, it would be a good idea to really think about what you truly want in this moment, okay? And what you're thinking ahead of time. What can you see yourself doing? I had done real estate stuff for close to a year. That was just enough time for me to pretty much say, I do not want to do this anymore. It was costly. I didn't really like the people I was working with. I liked some of them, but not all of them. A lot of them, you know, and then some of them were like really cool people, but that was the whole thing with it, you know, is that I learned from it and I realized, hey, I don't like this, and I moved on. And I think that's what's the difficult part about an identity crisis, is getting out of it. And I think that James Clear did a great job expressing the fact that I actually wish he would have went into more detail, but I think he did a good job where he explained him going from baseball and then getting out of that into something else and how difficult that was for him. Because truly leaving your past self and leaving that past self that you were trying to become, it's hard to let go of something like that and try to do something new. I honestly think that if you end up resenting, if you end up filling your mind with negativity, then you will not progress in the things that you actually want to progress in. If you can't look at the things that you wish you would have changed and be happy that you've maybe made some wrong choices, then you'll never grow. And I think that I wasn't allowing myself to look at the whole real estate thing as a growth cycle, right? As something that I just went through. I instead looked at it as something that was a mistake, and it wasn't a mistake. So like, for example, let's just say that you ended up cutting your hair, okay? You cut it short and you just don't like it. You know what? It's okay, because you can grow it back and you can go and have long hair again. You know, it's just a small example. An identity crisis can stem from small things or even big things, okay? So it can be something as small as hair, it can be as big as something as job and work. And really, who you want to be is your choice. And it's really easy to get stressed out and upset about the decisions that you're making, and maybe it's easy to just feel like you're making bad decisions, right? And really what you got to do is just really evaluate the way that you perceive yourself. Think about, is this going to be better for me? And if it is, then do it. And if it's, if it doesn't work out, if whatever you're trying, whatever you're doing, whatever decisions you make, they're not good for you, then yes, then revert back or try something else, because that is the way that you will see growth in your life. And I'm really thankful for Atomic Habits to really show me that, yes, the changes that I've made are something that I should not regret and are things that I should actually be very grateful for. And yes, of course, the book is more about habits. I'd love to make some videos actually about that book and the habits and stuff, because I love talking about habits. But honestly, just the whole identity crisis thing really hit home, and it really changed me while I was on vacation, and it really made me look at the way that I look at other people, the way I look at myself, and the way that I just need to carry myself day by day. And it made me realize who I really wanted to become and what I needed to let go of, and realizing that it's something that was a past part of me, and I can grow from here. I don't need to just beat myself down and stay in that low point. I can actually start moving up and start doing the things that I really want to do. But to just really wrap everything up, if you're going through an identity crisis, or if you haven't yet, or whatever it is, just know that change can be bad and good. So really, it's all about evaluating the pros and cons of what identity you want to change, okay? And then giving it the change, trying it, becoming the person that maybe you're scared to be, or maybe the person that you think you want to be, giving it a try and seeing what happens. You might like it, you may not like it. I like the transition in which I went from the emo kid to the person I am now. I'm 𝙬𝙤𝙠. Back then, I was just emo Dan, and that's just the kind of funny thing is, sometimes you don't like the transition you make, you don't like the new identity. Sometimes you will, sometimes you will. So it's either you won't or you do, and you just kind of learn from there. There's no point, I think, of regretting your decisions or even resenting something, because it's just all negativity at the end of the day. And negativity never leads to growth. So I really hope this video was pretty straightforward for you. I hope that you learned something. I really do hope it was a good video. This is actually the re-recording. I already recorded this once. I just had to do it again because the first one, it just wasn't it, okay? But if you enjoyed this video, if you felt like you learned something, then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you guys enjoyed, then check out this next video. This next video is about habits. Honestly, habits pair really well with this video, and it's not about the atomic habits. That will be in the future. I can't wait to make videos about it, but until then, these are some of the things that I've learned previously. So check this video out if you haven't already, and as always, find the fire within you and stay Diablo.